Greek mythology welcomes you. Odysseus is the Greek name of Ulysses. Ulysses is the Latin name of Odysseus. Odysseus, that is Ulysses, was a legendary hero in Greek mythology. He is the king of the island of Ithaca. He is also the main protagonist, that is, main character of the classical writer Homer's epic titled The Odyssey. The writer Homer also wrote the Iliad. Like Ramayana in Hindu mythology, there is the Iliad and Odyssey by Homer in Greek mythology. Odysseus was one of the suitors of Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world according to the Greek. For this lady, the greatest Trojan War began between the Greek and the city of Troy. Helen was the wife of Menelaus, the king of Sparta, and the younger brother of Agamemnon. This lady Helen was captured by the prince of Troy named Paris, who was also known as Alexander. Paris was the brother of Hector, the most popular villain in Greek mythology. In order to save his wife Helen, Menelaus fought with Paris. Thus began the Trojan War between the Greek and Troy. It is also known as the Battle of Troy. In this Trojan War, many Greek warriors took part. Among them, the most popular heroes are Achilles, Odysseus, Diomedes, Ajax, and Nestor. During this Trojan War, the Troy was leading, so the Greek created an assumption that they withdrew their army. But actually, with the master plan of Odysseus, that is Ulysses, they built a huge horse which was named Trojan horse. Hiding themselves in that horse, they entered the palace of Troy. And pillaged, massacred, and protected Helen. Thus, the Trojan virus in computer named after in the modern world. This war took place for 10 years. After winning this war, Odysseus, that is Ulysses, started to return to his country Ithaca, where his wife Penelope and his newborn son Telemachus awaited. But the god of sea obstructed Ulysses in many ways. For another 10 years, he traveled to many mysterious islands where he had numerous memorable adventures. Finally, Ulysses managed to reach Ithaca and reunited with Penelope and Telemachus after 20 years. With this background, here follows the poem Ulysses by Alfred Tennyson. Cute children of ideal and authors, it is my honor to meet you all again through this class of day 1 of poem 4. I am Nageswaran, Department of English, Adarsh Vidyalaya Higher Secondary School. The poet Alfred Tennyson must be introduced to you before we see this poem. Alfred Tennyson, 1st Baron Tennyson, from 6 August 1809 to 6 October 1892, was a British poet. Baron is a rank of nobility or title of honor, often hereditary. The female equivalent is Baroness. He was the poet laureate of Great Britain and Ireland during much of Queen Victoria's reign and remains one of the most popular British poets. Poet laureate is a poet officially appointed by a government to compose poems for special events and occasions. அவை புலவர் அல்லது அரசவை கவிஞர் என்று கூறலாம். During Victoria's reign, Tennyson was the poet laureate of both Britain and Ireland. He remained one of the most popular British poets. Tennyson excelled at penning short lyrics such as Break, 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 The Charge of the Light Brigade, Tears, Idle Tears, and Crossing the Bar. Excelled means showing one's excellency. Penning means writing. Tennyson showed his excellency in writing these works. He wrote verses on classical mythology such as Ulysses, Idylls of the King, and Tithonus. Tennyson's use of the musical qualities of verse to emphasize his rhythms and meanings is sensitive. Verse means writing that is arranged in lines, often with a regular rhythm. His way of giving musical qualities to words and emphasizing, that is, giving importance to the rhythms and meanings are sensitive, that is, easy to understand. If we concentrate on his verse deeply, everything will be easy to understand. The poem Ulysses is a dramatic monologue that contains 70 lines of blank verse. Monologue is a speech uttered by a single man. This poem has 70 lines. It is entirely spoken by the Greek warrior Ulysses. Ulysses, the king of Ithaca, gathers his men together to prepare for the journey and exhorts them not to waste their time left on earth. After returning to his family, Ulysses asked his men to gather for the journey. Exhorts means urges or persuades somebody to do something. He asked his every soldier not to waste their time. So he made them do their preparation fast. Ulysses has grown old, having experienced many adventures at the Battle of Troy and in the seas. As we have already seen in the background, Ulysses returned to Ithaca. He had many experiences. He did many adventures at the Battle of Troy and in the sea. Now he was getting old. After returning to Ithaca, he desires to embark upon his next voyage. His inquisitive spirit is always looking forward to more and more of such adventures. Embark means to get on to a ship or to start a journey on a ship. Inquisitive means curious. Though Ulysses lived with his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus, his mind was not with them. He was always longing for making a new journey. So he decided to start his next voyage, that is, a sea journey. His curiosity was making more and more adventures. The poem can be divided into three parts. The thirst for adventure, which does not allow Ulysses to remain in his kingdom as a mere ruler. Ulysses handing over the responsibility to his son Telemachus with total confidence in his abilities. Ulysses' clarion call to his sailors, urging them to venture into unknown lands. We can divide this poem into three parts. The first part is Ulysses' unwillingness in remaining as a mere ruler due to the thirst of his adventure. தீரச் செயல்களின் தாக்கத்தால் வெறும் அரசாட்சியின் மீது ஏற்பட்ட விருப்பமில்லாமையை தெரிவித்தல். The second part is his handing his own kingdom of Ithaca to his son Telemachus, whom he had much confidence. தான் உருவாக்கிய இத்தாக்கா சாம்ராஜ்யத்தை தன் மகன் டெலிமாக்கஸிடம் ஒப்படைத்தல். The third part is calling his sailors and soldiers to get ready for going unknown lands. Clarion call means a clear message or request for people to do something. தன் வீரர்களை புதியதோர் உலகிற்கு பயணப்படும்படி அழைப்பு விடுத்தல். In the first part, Ulysses speaks to himself. In the second part, he speaks to the readers. And in the final part, he speaks to his warriors. Read the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson, which speaks of the unquenchable thirst of the Greek hero Ulysses for travel and exploration of new vistas until death would overpower him. Unquenchable means cannot be fulfilled or cannot be satisfied. Vistas means beautiful views, especially of countrysides. Overpower means to defeat. This poem speaks about the eagerness of the great Greek hero Ulysses towards his travel to the new and unknown lands until death defeats him. What does Ulysses say to himself in the first part? Shall we listen to him? Come on, let's hear. In little profits that an idle king by this still hath among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal loss unto a savage race, that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. Idle means lazy. Hearth means home and family life. Barren means empty. Crags means rocks. Meet means to give somebody a punishment. Dole means to give out an amount of food or money, etc. Unto means to or towards somebody. Savage means brutal or violent. Little is a negative term which means no, whereas a little is a positive one which means some. Ulysses in the first stanza says that to be a lazy king gives no profit. He does not want to live his family life in his home. His entire kingdom is full of rocks only. Moreover, he feels that he is unmatched to his aged wife. He does not want to rule over these rude people by giving punishment and reward which are unequal to them. That refers to the savage people. Hoard means to collect. Some people in the Ithaca only know how to collect food and eat them. They know only how to sleep and feed. They do not know even this Ulysses. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone, on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy heights vexed the dim sea. Drink life to the lees means drinks to the very last drop. Here, live life to the fullest. Ulysses says that he cannot take rest from travel. He wants to drink to the very last drop. That is, he wants to live his life till the last moment by making new travels. Most of his time he enjoyed as well as suffered a lot among these 20 years. Throw is an archaic term for through. Scudding means moving rapidly because of the wind. Drifts means slow and steady movement of a ship. Heights is a group of stars in the constellation, that is, forming a group Taurus often associated with rain. Vexed is the past tense of vex, which means upset. The people who are always with Ulysses in the battle of Troy loved him when Ulysses was alone on the shore. Through the moving wind, when the rainy heights upset the dull sea, those people showed their courtesy towards Ulysses. I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all. Roaming means traveling or wandering without aim. During these 20 years, Ulysses crossed many cities and its governments. He crossed many men and their manners. Also, he knows many climates and councils, that is, groups of members who give their own opinions. By telling myself not least but honored of them all, Ulysses assures that he is not treated with ill respect, whereas he is respected wherever he goes. And drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. Peers means same-aged people. He tasted the delight of the battles with his colleagues. From the farthest plains, that is open lands, where the war of Troy happened, came the ringing sounds of winds. In that plains, Ulysses and his team enjoyed their victory over the Trojan people. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untravelled world whose margin fades, forever and forever when I move. Whatever Ulysses has met, he has become the part of it. His contribution is so much. Yet all experience is an arch. Now he thinks and gathers all his experiences. His experiences seem like an arch, wherethrough gleams that untravelled world whose margin fades. Through that arch gleams, that is, lights of many untravelled world appear. Every arch he goes past, another arch appears. There is no end. The margin, that is the boundary of every path, fades when he crosses it. Forever and forever when I move. Forever and forever are both the synonymous words, which mean always and in all time respectively. Literally, Ulysses says that art is long and there is no end for his gaining knowledge. Whenever he makes travels, his experience comes before him like an arch and it always goes on endlessly. அதாவது எங்கெல்லாம் அவர் பயணப்படுகிறாரோ அங்கெல்லாம் அவரது அனுபவங்கள் நுழைவு வாயிலை போன்று நின்று எல்லைகள் மறைந்து போகும் புதியதோர் உலகிற்கு வெளிச்சத்தை காட்டுகிறது. Untraveled world here also means death of Ulysses. How dull it is to pass, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use. Ulysses says that it is so dull and waste to be idle in a same land. It is utter waste to end his travel. To rust unburnished means to let something go waste without being used. He also states that to remain his weapons unused is a foolish one. If his weapons are not used or burnished, that is polished often, they will get rust and become unused. Like his weapons, he too will become rust and lazy if he stays in his kingdom alone. As though to breathe were life, life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains. As though to breathe were life means mere breathing alone is not life. Ulysses says life piled on life, that is, he has a lot of lives, which means he had narrowly escaped from death many times. But they are all too little, that is insufficient to him. Among those many lives, now he has only one life. In this single life, little time, that is, no time remains. He has only a short time to live in this world. He knows that soon he will meet his death. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. In this single life, he should save his every hour from his eternal silence, which means death. This every single hour is the bringer of new things and new knowledge to him. அதாவது மரணத்திடமிருந்து சேமிக்கப்படுகின்ற ஒவ்வொரு மணி நேரமும் புதிய அறிவினையும் அனுபவத்தையும் அவருக்கு கொண்டு வருகிறது. And while it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. While means evil, that is very bad. 3 suns means 3 long years. Ulysses thinks that in Ithaca itself for these 3 long years to store and hoard himself, which means to put himself, is a while, that is evil. It is very bad to him. Sinking star refers to the star that is disappearing. Grey refers to his old age. He says that like a sinking star, his desires for yearning and following knowledge beyond the reach of human thought is enriching day by day despite his old age. He wants to go to the land which an ordinary human cannot go. Dear students, thus from the beginning up to this, Ulysses speaks to himself, that is, from line number 1 to line number 32. In the following stanzas, what will he say to his son Telemachus and what will he say to his fellow soldiers? To know this, we have to wait for another session. So, I will meet you in the day 2. Stay home, be safe.